Hello, everyone. Carlos Casados here with Hypnotherapy Breakthrough. Thanks for watching. Today, I'm going to get a little deeper into the emotional resilience methods that I've been talking about. This is an additional step in the path. I hope that you'll engage in this fully and try it out for yourself to see what you think of it. Um, I'm going to share what's been working for me and what's been working for my clients. And I'll try to keep this as brief as possible so you can just understand the concept and begin working with it. Okay, so today we're going to talk about using somatic awareness to help you to understand your feelings better, to be able to identify what series of steps are going on inside of you so that if you want to change that, you can. Okay, remember that emotional resilience is about being able to recognize what's going on inside, is emotional intelligence, to recognize what you're feeling and put a label on it, perhaps even to recognize what's going on with other people, um, and be able to bounce back from a difficult thing or a negative emotion. The more you can bounce back and the quicker you can bounce back and the more fully you can bounce back, the more resilient you will be. And resilience will imply also that when future situations come up, you'll be able to handle it better. And isn't that the point? To improve ourselves and improve our way of dealing with life, right? Okay. So I said somatic awareness. Somatic has to do with the body. So movement, feelings, and the awareness of. So what is awareness? Awareness can be defined as our capacity to witness the experiences we're having. All right. So many people go through life and have a difficult time answering questions about their own body. There are people with body dysmorphia who don't realize that they're very skinny. They think they're fat, for example, or very ugly and disproportionate because of their own view of themselves, and that's very often the result of trauma. But also, people can grow up feeling detached from the ability to just describe anything going on in their body. Like you ask them how they're feeling, and they go, "Oh, fine." But then if you ask for any specifics, like, "No, no, tell me how you're actually feeling right now," they are confused by the question. They're like, "I don't know." Or if they're hurting and they say, "What's going on with the sensation? Like, how does it feel?" And they go, "Well, what do you mean?" It's a simple question. What's happening? What are the sensations going through your body? Right? No answer. So I swear to God, this happens. So if you're not one of those people, trust me, you're gonna meet someone like that who doesn't have the ability to do that. Or if they're feeling an emotion, they don't use any language to describe the emotion. They'll just say, "Well, I'm uncomfortable." Okay, but what kind of discomfort? I don't know. I just don't like it. Okay, but what does that mean? Does it make you angry, scared, sad? What's the feeling? And so I don't want to belabor the point. I just wanted to make the point that not everybody's working from the same place. Okay, there are probably lots of you who are watching this video who will be able to have a good sense of emotional intelligence and will totally know what I mean when I say follow the sensations, examine and observe those sensations going on in your body. Many of you have meditated and have practiced that, being present and scanning the body for sensations, right? But I want this to be accessible to everyone. And I want you to know that if you're one of those people who has a difficult time with the somatic awareness, it's not your fault. It's not. It's something that was probably trained or beaten into you. And you can heal it. You can learn how. I want you to feel hope. You can. It's something that's absolutely learnable and teachable. So let's begin. Somatic awareness is paying attention to the body. Even in this moment, as you're watching this video, you could ask yourself, how am I feeling? Not me, but you. How are you feeling? Um, Imagine that you could look down from the top of your head down into your body. What would you notice? What are the areas of tension? Do you feel the pressure of maybe your tush sitting against the seat? Do you feel any other tension in your body? Do you have a headache? Do you have an itch anywhere? These are physiological feedback systems, right? It's going through your body, and it's communicating to you something. At some point, you'll be blinking and taking a breath in. This is a sensation in your body that tells you it's time to do it, and you don't have to think about it. It just happens. There's an automatic system in you that handles all these things. Okay. When you're feeling a negative emotion, there will be a corresponding physiological response in your body, and it will show up in some way, usually as a form of tension in a particular area of your body, and there'll be maybe a sequence or a series of tensions, tense points that will reveal themselves, pressured areas, um, and so if you're experiencing any negative emotion whatsoever, I'll make one up. Let's say I'm feeling frustrated. Okay. I'm going to make myself feel that. So I'm going to take a moment. Okay. I'm feeling frustrated right now. I'm feeling frustrated. Okay. I'm diving into this feeling. Okay. Stop. What's going on in the body? What's happening somatically? Okay, let me do it again. I'm feeling I'm feeling frustrated. Okay, so I'm feeling furrowing in my eyebrows, tension in my mouth. There's wriggling going on in my body. There's a raising and tightening of my shoulders. There's a tightening of my abdomen and like a breath contraction of my diaphragm area. There's a little bit of a dryness in my mouth right now. I felt like I'm trying to swallow as if I wanted to get more saliva, like my mouth became dry or something. Um, that's just me. That's what I'm legitimately experiencing in this moment when I created or called forth the feeling, evoked the feeling of frustration. It's going to be different for everybody. There may be some similarities. My point is that you need to get good at observing what's going on in the body while you're having the feeling. When you can do that, you're accomplishing a couple of things. One, you're starting to notice patterns, and patterns can help you to unravel the pattern. Okay? Second thing you're doing is by learning to observe, you're already creating a layer of distance between you and the experience. I know that seems weird, because how are you creating a layer of distance between the experience if you're experiencing it more? What I mean is that you're kind of opening the door to being able to recognize that there's an experience, and then there's you observing the experience, and that's already creating subject and object there. There's difference. Okay? A lot of times when you're having the experience, it's sort of hypnotic that you become fully absorbed in it. And while it's happening to you, you're not observing anything. You're literally you're just having it. It's consuming your awareness, and it's very much a part of like you being lost in the moment. But when you observe, you're still in the moment, but you're in a different moment. You're in the moment of the observer, and the observer can do a lot more than the one who's fully absorbed in the experience. Okay, um, if you do this and get good at this, what you're doing is you're practicing. Anytime you feel the emotion, you call out the emotion, like I said in the previous video, you label it, and then you ask yourself, okay, what am I physically feeling in my body? First, and then next, and next, and next, and next. Follow it in a sequence so you get the chronology of where do I feel in my body first. So a question I like to ask myself is, whereabouts in my body do I first feel this blank? Whether it's frustration, anger, sadness, fear, whatever. Whereabouts in my body do I first feel this blank, whatever that is? Once I notice where it's happening first, I examine and see where else do I feel it, where do I feel it next, and so on, and try to get the pattern in there. And then I might look at, look at, uh, I'll observe whether I'm picturing anything. Is anything coming to mind? Like maybe a negative scenario, or what am I hearing inside? Like, is my inner voice chastising me, or am I repeating something I heard? Is it a negative kind of talk that's going on, and then any additional kinesthetics that come after I notice the visual and auditory components. Now what I have is a series of syntactical steps that my nervous system's doing to create the feeling. Get it? You're creating a syntax of sensory steps to create a feeling. The presupposition there is you are creating the feeling. Although it doesn't feel like that, it feels like it's happening to you. A wave of emotion is coming over you, but it's not really the case. It's like a magic trick. What you're seeing is not necessarily what's happening. But it takes some time to be able to observe this. And when you practice this, you'll begin to notice that you actually are the one who's creating those feelings. Your story about whatever sensations are happening are what increase, decrease, extend, or expand those feelings and change those feelings. So that's where the story comes in, and we'll talk about that in a different video. But once you can observe these steps, you want to go back in and out and try to see if you can observe it a couple of times. Make sure it's the same, so you have this kind of pattern. All you need to do next is play around with the pattern. Change one significant thing. Break the pattern and do something totally different on that one step. And then you tell me what's different. So if I am feeling, this frustration, I first feel my furrowing eyebrows and jaw, and then I feel my shoulders, and then I feel this tension in my stomach. Okay, I got this whole feeling of frustration. Okay, cool, now I got it. That's a pattern. Then I can go in and say, I'm feeling this furrowed eyebrow, and I suddenly go, take a deep breath and open my eyes and do some ridiculous face like that. Well, all of a sudden, I notice that I'm feeling differently than I felt a minute ago. Do I feel fantastic? No. Do I feel like I'm on top of the world? No. But do I feel frustrated? No. I don't. I feel something different. That's all you need, is to see that you have the power to make something different. And you experiment a little bit. You experiment with changing a step or two. And this is only for people who really want to gain emotional mastery, people who are really looking to embrace the power of their emotions as a guidance system, but don't want to be controlled by it. Because your feelings are very important. I'm not saying that you should ignore your feelings, and every feeling that you feel, you should not feel. That's not what this is about. This is about, once you understand the feelings, you know what their purpose is, you've listened to the message, and you want to retrain the pattern so that you can learn to respond in a more beneficial way. That's all this is about. And as you do this, you're going to learn a lot of things about yourself. You're going to gain the power to pay attention in new ways. You'll start to notice yourself physically in space. You can even imagine, if you want to take this to a different level, imagine that you're seated over there or standing against the wall watching yourself, and just see, what would you notice if you were Sherlock Holmes and you could notice every little detail and be super observant? Would you notice facial coloring changes like capillary flow? Would you notice pupil dilation? Would you notice lower lip size? Would you notice location of the breath? Is it up in the chest or down in the belly? Would you notice the rate and speed of the breath? What are things that you could absolutely observe from the outside? And then come back in, and now you've got the insider's view and the outsider's view. So you've already learned how to switch that back and forth. Okay? And that is, by the way, another hidden element to emotional mastery, is learning how to change perspectives. We will talk about that in another video as well. Okay, so there's a lot of steps to this, but every one of these steps can be used by themselves. And all the steps can be used in conjunction or one after the other. So that's why I'm presenting it to you in this way. All right, here we are at time. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions or you want to share your experience, please do share in the comments below. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and share it with others, because I'm sure there are lots of people out there that could use this. Thanks again for all your support, and I appreciate you. Take care.